Response to trials and tribulations are a good way to understand someone's character, but to truly know someone, you need to get in their head and see what makes them tick. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Cosy Reads. I hope you've all been keeping well. Welcome to part 5 of the series, A Nexus of Outliers. The group have now entered the heart of the Nexus and met some of its interesting denizens, seeing beings of all shapes and sizes. With the group now having been checked in, let's see what waits for them next. A pleasure to meet all of you. You're probably all overwhelmed, but don't worry, I'm here to help alleviate some of the stress and find out if you are Nexus material. If all goes well, you'll be given a lot of things to help start your new lives and finally get some normalcy back into your lives, Dr. Juniper explained to the group. After being registered by Cassie, the group were brought before Dr. Juniper, a neuropsychologist who was an expert on matters of the brain. It also helped that due to her powers, her brain grew, resulting in her cranium becoming bigger than average. To someone just meeting her, it looked like her head was swelling. But she always reassured everyone that her head and brain were fine, and she didn't experience pain or uncomfortableness of any kind. Alright, so I won't keep you all in suspense for too long. My section of your orientation is not too bad. My powers allow me to access someone's mind. Through physical contact, I can delve into your subconscious and get a better understanding of who you are. It helps to make sure that you are Nexus material. We also use my abilities as a failsafe to make sure that there are no spies or people with bad intentions trying to slip through the cracks. I also act as the team's doctor at mental health support. In times like these and with the work we do, it's always important to have someone who can lend a professional ear to your mental health woes. And finally, to put all cards on the table, another function of my power is what I like to call the mind plunge. This is for far more difficult cases. For example, individuals who might have had their memories altered, or people who might have been put in a vegetative state by a mind attack, or people whose minds have been altered to the point where they are more aggressive or angry. My power lets me physically go into another's mind, or I say physically, I'm able to send my subconscious into someone else's mind. A core trick of it as well is that I can send other people in with me. I can only send a small amount at a time, but we have a specialized team here who help me out on those types of missions. They're known as Mind Walkers. So that's a bit about me and what I can do, and I understand how overwhelming all of this is, so I'll give you a short summary as to why you're here, the doctor explained before diving into the reason for the group being brought to her. So the reason that all of you are here is quite simple. I must do a mind check on you. Like I said, it's nothing too pervasive. It just requires physical contact and for you to sit still and try and clear your mind as best you can. From there, I'll just poke around a bit inside your head. I'll do my best to not discover anything too private. My main goal is to find out a bit about you and whether you are a secret enemy of the Nexus. I hope that explains it well and that you're all okay. And don't worry, you've done amazingly well to reach here. And this is, to be honest, your last trial. You pass this and we'll be happy to take you on, Dr. Juniper finished explaining. Locke struck her a quick glance, which the doctor noticed and smiled. Dr. Juniper was not supposed to tell them about this being the last trial. To ensure safety for the Nexus, members are not supposed to talk about the trial process. But the doctor couldn't help it. The group looked so scared, she just wanted to ease them up a bit, especially the children. And the doctor had a feeling about them, a good feeling. After studying the brain for so long, she gained a sixth sense for people, and she could tell that these people in front of her were genuine. Alright, so who's ready to go first? The doctor asked. As the first member of the group stepped forward, the doctor set them down and spoke to them in a calm and soothing tone. Thank you for being brave enough to step forward. Now just relax. I'm going to put my hand on your head so I can check your mind and make sure you're okay to join us. You shouldn't feel any pain or discomfort, but if you do, let me know and we'll stop. This process should not last too long. It usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes depending on the individual. However, I will need you to be as still as you can during the process. Sometimes it can take longer though, so don't be alarmed if it goes over 10 minutes. My eyes will close when we start, and you'll know we're done because I will let you know and my eyes will open. Are you happy to proceed? The doctor asked the individual. They nodded their head, and the doctor then put her hand on the individual's head. There wasn't much for anyone to see. For the next 8 minutes, the doctor and the individual sat there in silence, both with their eyes closed and neither moving too much. The individual fidgeted every so often, but for the most part they remained still, until eventually the doctor opened their eyes, saying, "All done." The individual opened their eyes as well and saw the doctor smiling at them. She then turned to Locke, saying all clear as she did so. Locke then came over and walked the person over to another section of the lab. It was a little ways away from the group, and it was mainly to separate from those who had been tested and passed, to those who had not been tested, to those who had been tested and failed. One by one, each member of the group was brought forward and tested until eventually every member of the group was tested. They all passed, much to the doctor's, the group's and Locke's joy. From there, the doctor thanked the group for coming in and told them more about her services now that they were potential members of the Nexus. Locke then explained where they'll be going next. Their next port of call would be an individual known as the manager. And that brings chapter 5 of this series to an end. I hope you've all enjoyed this chapter and let me know what you thought of it. With the group now passing all the trials of the Nexus, they have been officially let into the Nexus. There is no real formal process of indicting members, but on their way to the manager, they will meet with Cassie and receive their official Nexus documents to prove they have joined. The Nexus is there to protect all those who have been forced to live on the fringes of society. So long as they are not evil or have ill intentions, and so long as they actively want to live a better life and they don't mind supporting the Nexus, then they are more than welcome. And now, with the group joining, they'll have access to all the Nexus's support networks. Let's see how the group story will progress and who they'll be meeting next. So until then, I hope you have all sufficiently warmed up and that this story has brought you some level of comfort. I wish you safe travels on a journey of life, and feel free to come back again whenever you need a new story to warm your day.